Or is this Atom? Or maybe it's just TypeScript. I don't know. I wonder if TypeScript, and maybe someone in the comments can tell me, like for UI UX stuff, is TypeScript the new front end language? Like, is it no longer JavaScript or like React.js? Is it now just TypeScript that we all use? I'm just curious. I don't know if like there's a reasoning behind. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Granularity AI tutorial. Today, we are going to talk about something that I think is very important in the past week. Google has taken the AI realm by storm pretty much with tools like Notebook LM, with their own kind of video generation applications, and their own type of AI agents. And now we get to this application that Google has recently developed that rivals tools like Bolt.new, VO by Vercel, Lovable, Replit, these text to code application development tools. Google has released something called Firebase Studio. For right now, it's free. I don't know if they'll add a paywall to it anytime soon, but I wanted us to kind of try it out for ourselves. I've already played with it myself. I built maybe two useful things from my perspective. And I kind of want to take it to you guys to show you what it can and can't do, what it has trouble with and what it doesn't. There is the concept of vibe coding. And I think a lot of seasoned developers, seasoned software engineers hate the idea of vibe coding. And I believe, in my opinion, they hate the idea of vibe coding because it reduces software engineering, development, coding as a skill to maybe just a recreational pastime, right? Calling something a vibe isn't always the best compliment when it comes to work or skills. So I could see where developers, software engineers would have some contention with that kind of phrasing. Nonetheless, I do believe AI is the great equalizer. I do believe that AI is the greatest tool that we have presently that levels the playing field when it comes to skills, knowledge, creativity, so forth and so on. I firmly believe no one should be gatekeeping software engineering knowledge, how to build something, how to code something, stuff like that. I've always believed in the idea of open source. I've always believed in the idea of knowledge should be shared, not hidden. Um, and so personally, I love the idea of vibe coding. I love the idea of doing, writing a simple prompt and having AI do all the work from back-end development to front-end development to developing, a small application for me versus kind of me having to pay someone hundreds or thousands of dollars to develop just, to develop something that I ask, and it may not even come out the way I want it to. And now I got to spend money for more iterations. That's never fun. Vibe coding levels the playing field. And I think it's something beneficial, not only for seasoned software engineers and seasoned developers that have 10 plus years of experience, but also for individuals who are new to this, who are novices, who are amateurs, and kind of just, they don't want all that experience. They just want to play around. They just want to see what they can build. They just want to explore, experiment. And I think everyone should be open to doing that, and there shouldn't be any gatekeeping involved. Now, what I will say is if any of this sounds interesting to you, if any of this sounds like something you would want to learn about, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Please make sure you like, make sure you dislike. These metrics is what we use to determine whether a video, a tutorial, any type of content is successful or not. We want to know that you're enjoying it. We want to know what piques your interest. We want to know through your comments, through your feedback, even recommendations. We want to know what you, as a learner, as someone who is looking to learn about different AI tools, what you would want. Also, um, I'm thinking about doing maybe a few podcasts, maybe a few um, interviews with different people in different fields. I would love for you guys to recommend any individuals that you think would be awesome to talk to. Um, I want to build a community of like not just who I'm interested in talking to, but also what you guys want and who you would love to hear. So please make sure you also leave some recommendations in the comments for that as well. And without further ado, let's jump right in. So Firebase Studio, we already have it looked up in Google search. You're gonna want to hit the first one. Try Firebase Studio. Now, what I will say is, will Firebase get it raw? I'm interested. Oh, terms and conditions. Does Firebase get it right every time? No. The most useful thing for you is number one, to learn a minimal amount of front end and back end languages: TypeScript, JavaScript, Python, C, C++, the C language, maybe a little bit of Java as well. Because even though this does it all for you, very minimal, um, very the individual is needed very minimally when it comes to development. But if there is an error, if there's maybe something that the model is not getting right, where it's not following your prompt correctly, it's not following what you want fixed correctly, you want to have the knowledge, at least, to be able to hop in the code comfortably and make the changes that you want to make. Now, I'm not a seasoned front end developer, but I know a decent amount. I know a decent amount of JavaScript, very little TypeScript. Um, my specialty is more so in backend, Java, C++, C language, Python. But that doesn't mean I can't actually just hop into the front end code, do a little bit of research on Stack Overflow, and figure out how to fix what the AI model isn't fixing. This ties back to where like coding is not going to become obsolete. I want to make that statement very, very um, loud, because there is this misconception that why learn to code, why even learn about the data structures and algorithms. And it's because even though AI does make coding easier now, that doesn't mean you don't need to know about the intricacies and the specifics behind the code, right? You at least want to understand how it works. Um, Coding in of itself, as far as like in the AI era that we are in right now, can all be handled by the AI model. But I do believe that just like a calculator to an individual, the calculator is only as smart as the individual who is using it. The calculator can only the calculator can only calculate what you input into it, and based off your inputs, will determine what answer you get in the end. Same thing with AI. AI, these models are only as smart as your prompts. If your prompts are trash, if your prompts are terrible, it's not that helpful. You might get maybe two prompts through and then kind of give up because you're not getting it to where you want it to go. So the example I like to use is that just like the calculator, it's only as smart as the individual using it. Just like with AI, it is only as smart as the individual using it. The first application that we're going to create is fairly simple, right? And that's something of this prompt here. Now, I want to make a recommendation to you guys that if you are looking, let's say you have your own prompt that you developed, but you need it in a way to where it can be well received by an AI model. Ask something like Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot to make your prompt more comprehensive for an AI model, right? An AI knows the most on how to communicate with AI because it is an AI model. Ask it to make your prompts more comprehensive. Ask it to make your prompts more understandable to AI, and then take that prompt that it developed and add it to whatever application you're using. There's a past video I did because I think it was both corrective RAG and adaptive RAG, where they both used when a user would input a question or a query, whatever statement, what do you want to call it, as it's going through its logic, it would instead rewrite that question to better meet the needs of how to pull whatever information out of the model, whether it was um, in the knowledge base or maybe through web search. It rewrote the question so that the answer uh, can suit the needs of the user. Same concept applies here. Instead, you're just looking for AI to suit the needs of another AI model or an AI application. This prompt here was written by AI. I think I may have had like I just can you make this prompt more comprehensive for an AI model? And this is what it came up with: a user-friendly candle set recommendation application that suggests scents like vanilla, lavender, and others based on the user's mood input. Simple UI with calming pastel colors, focusing on an intuitive and relaxing user experience. This is the prompt I believe MS Copilot came up for me. Let's give it a try and see what happens. And it doesn't take that long either. It's pretty quick. I will say I believe this may operate off of Google Gemini's 2.7 model. I could be wrong. It might be a different model, but I don't like these colors here. Additional colors. Please make these, please make the colors warmer. So as you can see, right, I already came up with an app blueprint. Scent sets, mood input, AI, scent suggestion, scent display, favorite scents, color guide, layout, simple, unclear layout, clean, readable iconography, animation, sort animations, transition to provide digital feedback. Da, 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 da. So again, it already comes with a project plan, which is nice, right? Makes life easier. You are able to adjust this blueprint as you go. For example, I don't like yellow, soft yellow, as a warm kind of welcoming color. Too bright for me. Um, and I believe it's not as soft. I kind of want something that maybe is a bit softer, warmer, more welcoming. So let's see what it comes up with. Oh, still taking these colors. Please use colors like clay red and white instead. Let's see what it does. I wonder why it's not changing the additional colors. Use a palette of clay red. Oh, okay. Primary colors. Use a palette of clay red and white. Secondary color shades of clay red. So like I said, this is a fairly new tool. I'm not sure why it's not changing the initial accent color. That's interesting to me. But maybe this is just a bug that they're kind of working through. It is experimental still, I believe. Um, but let's go ahead and prototype this. I wonder what happens when I do this. Ah, I see. Okay, okay, okay. So I guess this is also kind of new. I don't think I saw this before, where you're able to actually edit the requirements. This is interesting. Mood selection. I didn't know this was a thing. Cool. All right. One thing that I also want to make known is this application makes something very clear to me. And it makes clear the fact of the real successful individuals, the real winners of this AI era, revolution, whatever you want to call it, are going to be individuals who have taste. You know what I'm saying? Individuals who have the ability to understand what an individual would want in an application like this. I'm making the mistake of going off of what I would want this application to be like, right? Like what colors to me are warm and what colors to me would be useful. I don't know what the greater general population or who are into candles, what their favorite colors would be when it comes to an application that is a candle recommendation system. But someone who has the knowledge on this would be able to make a more tasteful app for this particular use case. But the individuals who ultimately I think will have the greatest success are the ones who have enough taste, enough creativity, and dare I say style, right? To really make an application, number one, have the best user experience, and number two, have the most welcoming UI. This would that those will be the two game changers. Coding itself can be outsourced now for free. Now we just need someone with the creative spirit and the creative knowledge to really take this further. So let's go ahead and prototype this app real quick and let's see what it pops out. Okay, as you can see, it begins working. Okay, let's prototype this app. Let me move my face to the side over here. I feel like I've moved my face multiple times so far. Sorry about that. Trying to make sure you guys see everything. I really like how it kind of runs through all these checks. I see it's using CSS, TypeScript, TypeScript X. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like TypeScript user experience or something like that. So I wonder, um, or is this Atom? Or maybe it's just TypeScript. I don't know. I wonder if TypeScript, and maybe someone in the comments can tell me, like for UI UX stuff, is TypeScript the new front end language? Like, is it no longer JavaScript or like React.js? Is it now just TypeScript that we all use? I'm just curious. I don't know if like there's a reasoning behind um, why it's using mostly TypeScript for this. Yeah, I'm curious. If anyone has that kind of knowledge in the comments, please make sure you chime in. So I see that it needs a Google Gemini API key. Let me see. Cool. So we placed our API key within our Google Gemini API key. I had to pause the video and get my API key real quick so you guys can't steal my keys at all. Um, anyways, so yeah, you do need it turns out you do need a Google Gemini API key for this. So make sure you keep that in mind. I do think it's free. I don't think there isn't a cost at first unless you're making more API hits, I guess. I'm not 100% sure on the Google Gemini cost model, but again, maybe somebody in the comments can provide better insights. So let's go ahead and see the usefulness of it. Oh, so I guess for the buttons itself, it applied this yellow hue, but for the border, there's like this clay red that it added. Interesting. So today I'm actually feeling kind of stressed, if I'm being honest. My sleep schedule has been pretty crappy for the past few days. I went out drinking on Sunday. Terrible mistake. Coming off of like a 2 months sober. So went out drinking on a Sunday. Sleep's been terrible. Using my sleep for a while has been pretty decent. Um, and now it's just back to being low quality. So right now I'm feeling kind of stressed. I want to know what set recommendations it has for me for, when it comes to candles for stressed out individuals. Let's see what it brings about. Lavender. Lavender is renowned for its calming and relaxing properties. Its floral, slightly sweet aroma can help to reduce stress, anxiety, from a sense of. Okay, I feel like that's well known. What about for relaxed? Lavender again? Citrus. Huh, interesting. I wonder if it could provide more choices. Let's do this. Please provide at least 3 recommendations, 3 cent recommendations per mood. Now, again, here's where it comes in where how well does it understand our prompt, right? Maybe it needs more context. Maybe it doesn't, but let's give it a try. Because this prompt here is fairly simple. I'm not sure why it wrote the code in this. So you should modify. I'm not sure why it wrote the code in this. It didn't do this before. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, it's still only adding 1 recommendation per selection. And so this is where, again, maybe we might need to make this prompt more comprehensive. So what I'm going to do is actually go to MS Copilot and see what it can do for me. So again, here's the switch, right? For some reason, it's not really understanding. It looks like it kind of just gave us the recommended way to update the code, also update the output schema to reflect the change. Let's see. Happy, stressed, constants, moods, happy, stressed. Where is the selection? Is there a selection in this? Not sure. I don't think so. Anyways, let's keep trying. Let's try a user-friendly candle set recommendation application that's just sends based on users' mood input. The app provides at least 3 set recommendations per mood, drawn from categories such as floral, woody, citrus, and gourmand. It features, let me do and others, not just gourmand or these. I don't want it to be limited. And others. It features a simple UI with calming colors, blah, 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 blah. This also, I had AI wrote. It is basically, I used the please make this prompt more comprehensive, and then gave the this example here. And this is what it came up with. So it expanded on it, got more specific, more than what I would. So again, use AI to help you communicate with AI. Let's see what happens here. Now let's see. I wonder why it's only putting out 1. Interesting. This didn't happen before. So I'm curious why it's happening now. Let's try again. I wonder if this is just because it's a preview and it's still kind of going through its experimental kind of beta testing. But I'm curious why it's operating like this. This is just us adding now the prompt that involves at least 3 recommendations per mood. Okay. 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 Let's go with these colors and see what it does if it produces kind of something Nice. Okay, here we are. And again, it's asking for a API key. So now that we have our API key added, let's see if we can select a mood. Let's say cozy. Oh, okay. Now it provides three. Interesting. Okay, cool. This is way better. So I'm gonna assume that maybe it's because since it is still in beta, since it is a preview, it is kind of running its rounds in terms of testing and user testing and whatnot. But this is nice. But this again, maybe you can build this, uh, take the code wise view rather than the just seeing it and watching it build the UI. You're able to go to the code itself and make your own configurations. App, layout, page, mood, stressed, happy, relaxed, romantic, motivated, cozy, contemplative. I wonder what contemplative looks like. Send card. And then let's go to AI. Nah. Docs. Oh, this is the blueprint. Okay, I got it. Okay, interesting. And then you're able to switch back to the prototype um, area to view more and test it more. The contemplative one, let me see. Sandalwood. Sandalwood is actually a nice color. I'm not a fan of bergamot like that, but sandalwood I do like a lot. And I like the fact that they added these images in it as well. Very, very nice. And the description. Cool. Let's try another one because I am kind of bummed out about how difficult it was to kind of get the first one going. Um, let's try another one real quick. Uh, Not today. I'll do it later. Let's try another one. This one I also tried myself too. This one was kind of difficult to really piece together, but it is possible. Um, a user-friendly code documentation generator that analyzes the code I write and generates detailed, well-structured documentation. The documentation clearly explains the logic, highlights key sections of the code, and outlines the purpose of each part. Simple UI, clean layout, blue and white color scheme with an emphasis on readability. Um, this also I had AI write, honestly. So AI knows how to communicate best with AI. Take my recommendation or take my advice. If any of this has been pretty interesting to you, have any of this has been very insightful for you, please make sure you subscribe. We are running through this together, testing it for the first time. Um, Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you dislike. All I ask is that if you do decide to dislike, make sure you leave a comment, some feedback, some suggestions, so that we can give you what you want in a better format. So let's run this real quick, this document generator piece. I, for one, hate writing documentation. It's the worst thing to do for me. I fail at it 90% of the time. You have to remind me every time. Um, Oh, I actually like these colors. What is this? This is like a white, light blue, teal. I actually like these colors. Code parsing, document generation, documentation display, code highlighting. I'm into it. Let's do it. And again, I think this can be also helpful. Like you don't have to come up with the next big application using this tool that everyone's going to use, right? This could be just helpful in writing useful applications for yourself. And 9 times out of 10, if it's useful to you, it would be useful to hundreds of other people. I, for one, hate writing documentation. I've met hundreds of other individuals who hate writing documentation. This application might be useful for hundreds of people, right? But for right now, it's just useful for me. But who knows, right? Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to put this out there and see what the feedback is. And again, it asks, the one thing I don't like is that it doesn't save my API key. Like it constantly makes me generate one over and over again. I'm not a, or not generate, but makes me copy and paste it over and over again. I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not. Gets kind of annoying. I wish you would just save it, have it in cache or something, and just keep reusing it. But anyways, that's nor here nor there. Uh, One thing I do want to do is to be able to just load the code in here. I want user should be able to load .py files. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Now it works fine. I wonder why in the past, in the other prompt, it was kind of, I don't know, generating it in here versus in the development window. Very weird. Again, there's hit or misses. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But let's take this here. And this is from the adaptive RAG piece. Actually, let's do the quantum portfolio one. Shout out to the videos. Make sure you go check them out. Quantum portfolio optimization, as well as the AI suite one and the adaptive RAG one. All interesting videos. Let's keep going. Cool. So now that we've loaded it successfully, where is the document generation? Does it? It's not happening. Ah, there it is. Oh, it takes a while. Interesting. I wonder. Let's do the documentation. See, and this is where taste comes in, right? Um, let's do this. Uh, Please make sure that the explanation text box is wider and centered. With the documentation text box. Let's not include a documentation text box. I want to be able to download the documentation as a PDF, as a well structured PDF file. And again, my thought is I'm going to take this to Copilot and have it make it more robust. Same thing with this one. And here's what it came up with. Let's get this out. A user-friendly candle set recommendation. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This is the wrong one. Go back. Control Z. Here it is. Please make this more comprehensive. Let me set up a new chat. It keeps reverting back to the old application. Let me set up a new one real quick. The one thing with AI now having memory is that it begins to get things confused with what you really want presently. It kind of takes things from the past and incorporates it. Please make this more comprehensive. And just so that you guys can see. So yeah, please make this more comprehensive. Please make sure the explanation to the text box, blah, blah, blah. I want to be able to download the documentation as well as da, 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 da. Please reduce this to one paragraph. And again, this is the trial and error you kind of have to go through AI, or with AI. It's not going to be perfect. Ensure the explanation will additionally provide featuring consistent table. Da, 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 da. Cool. Let's see what happens. But yeah, even with AI development, it's not going to get it correct every time. So you kind of need to make sure. Okay. So you kind of need to make sure that you're asking the right questions, you're making the right statements, for it to be able to kind of generate what you're asking for. And again, this takes, let's do generation, explain code. Let's do download PDF. I wish it would give like a status bar right here. I'm not going to go into a whole development video in this, but just adding different thoughts I have. I wonder how long it takes now, because I don't see it anywhere. Please make sure user is able to download PDF. And honestly, like the amounts of work it's doing when it comes to front end development, amazing. Like just pure, like it feels like pure bliss. Like again, as someone who's not a front end developer, watching this happen and not having to kind of really lift my fingers to make too many corrections feels blissful in my mind. Because I don't know too much about front end. So this is objectively nice. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. I don't know why it's taking a while to load, but we'll see. And we're back. So now we have this. Let's try this again. This looks cleaner. It doesn't look as, the button is no longer as big as it was before. That's another thing that I'm finding with this application. It doesn't stay consistent on the asks, where like I didn't need the button to get smaller. You know what I'm saying? I kind of just needed these boxes to be in their own section, as well as needing the user to be able to download the documentation itself that's generated. So it's not super good at understanding the asks just yet, and maybe it's my fault in terms of how I'm prompting it. I'm perfectly okay with taking that kind of accountability, but it comes with trial and error. So it seems like it did it so where you're able to select each option or each action for it to generate the explanation, generate the documentation. Stuff like that. What happens when I do improve documentation? And this is the first time I'm pressing this. I don't know what's supposed to happen with this. Doesn't seem like anything's happening. Interesting. Download. Or maybe it did improve it a little bit. Okay. Okay, maybe it did. Ah, I see. Now it's been downloaded. Oh, okay. So this is the output that it has now from the PDF piece, which it's not really good documentation. It's missing pages. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Let me see. Please include additional pages if needed for documentation. Please include additional PDF pages if needed for documentation. Now, this is the thing with vibe coding, right? You don't have as much autonomy, not autonomy, um, control. I guess that might be autonomy. I guess you could use both words. You don't have as much control when it comes to um, editing the code, how it's supposed to operate, stuff like that. You're simply relying on the prompts you give it. And the prompts you give it might suck. They might be well written. They might not be well written. So you're playing I think 60% of the time it does get things right. But on the other 40%, you're going to have to ask for things repeatedly and you're going to have to constantly try to get it right or to your liking. Generate documentation. Okay, let's see if it includes all of it. There we go. Now we get multiple pages. Beautiful. And it doesn't seem like it really. Oh no, there's a documentation piece. Okay. So it wrote out the entire documentation for me in a PDF format. So this comes with trial and error. This comes with um, trying to I guess build it as much as I can, um, or vibe code it as much as I can, whatever you want to call it, vibe code as much as I can to produce something like this. But it's perfectly within your reach to do the exact same thing and to publish it, right? Google Firebase does offer this publish option. I haven't used it myself. Maybe one of you guys can use it and try to let me know how it goes. But anyways, don't forget that this is a brand new tool. It is experimental. It is a preview. It's not going to be 100%. I think it might be been out for less than a week. Um, it's not 100%. But the idea is to use these tools to build a skeleton application. I don't think this is meant necessarily to build something from the ground up and complete it in whatever timeline. I think it's meant to be something as very minimal work on an application, very minimal design on an application. It gets the bare bones of the idea, but then it's your job to take it and add your own customizations, add your own kind of taste to it, add your own taste to it, add your own style uh, to make it how you want. It's kind of like when you're cooking, right? You can follow a recipe, right? You're able to follow a recipe from the whatever guide you got it from. But maybe you want to add some type of flair to it. Maybe your own flair, maybe your own taste. Maybe it needs a pinch of salt. Maybe it needs a bit of paprika. Maybe it needs a bit of nutmeg. If you go against the recipe itself in terms of what it calls for, and you add your own less of something or more of something, that recipe now becomes yours, right? Because now you've added your own little spin to it. Same thing with this. You can take this application and the code behind it, like it says here. You could take this application, the code behind it, and begin to add your own twist to it if the bare bones application does not meet your needs. So keep that in mind. Honestly, even though we've had our kind of trial and error with this tool, I am giving it the benefit of the doubt of like, hey, this is fairly new. It's only been out for maybe less than a week, maybe a little bit more than a week, maybe a week and a half. I'm not sure. Um, so I didn't and I don't expect it to be building apps that are immaculate. I'm sure as it matures, it'll probably get better and better. But right now, this is good enough for me, realistically. I do give it like a 9 out of 10, honestly, for where it's at. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few months it's at a 10 out of 10. When it comes to AI, this is the worst it will ever be. It's only going to learn. It's only going to have this reinforcement learning to it that's really and truly going to make it become better. And that's the only way AI operates, is it kind of levels up after every few weeks, after every few feedback loops. Um, but yeah, take this code. If it doesn't meet your needs, do your own dabbling into it whenever you're kind of using this application, if you are a front end developer, and simply use it as a skeleton piece to then build your masterpiece. With that being said, if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe. Please make sure you like, make sure you dislike, make sure you leave feedback, comments, suggestions. If you have any ideas on who you would want to see do an interview with, and kind of get their take on AI and development and where technology and engineering might go 10 years from now, let me know some names. I have my Rolodex of who I want to talk to, but I kind of want to make sure I meet the needs of you guys first and get your takes on who you think is important to you, so I can get maybe more ideas on who to bring on. With that being said, bye bye.